What is good, y'all? Welcome back to the report. Welcome back to a brand new video. We are here previewing Game 3 of the Miami Heat versus the New York Knicks playoff series, round 2. Game 3, man, it's knotted up at 1 apiece. We are back home at South Beach, back home in Miami, and we're here previewing Game 3. I'm so excited for tomorrow, and it's been a while since the Heat have played, so obviously, like, even that is another reason why I'm so excited, because I haven't seen the Heat play in like a week. So yeah, I mean, we're gonna be, rearing up to watch this team play. They're gonna be rearing up to play this game at home in front of the fans. I cannot wait. Make sure y'all drop a like, subscribe to the channel if you guys are new, comment down below your thoughts on the series, and go follow my Twitter and my second channel. Yeah, let's get right into it, man. First of all, I just want to say, like, my initial thoughts about the series. I'm actually very confident. I'm not gonna lie. Usually I'm not like too optimistic or too pessimistic. I'm kind of level-headed when it comes to these type of things, which I think is like a good thing. Like, I'm not like, I don't really get too high, I don't really get too low, but for some reason I'm just extremely confident. Now, I don't know if this is just me underestimating the Knicks. Like, don't get me wrong, the Knicks are a good team, which is like obviously why they're here. But I just don't really think they really move me as a team that can beat us in the series, which is why I'm extremely confident. Now, obviously, they have a lot of talent on their roster. Now, Game 2, they had a lot of things go their way. I'm not going to lie. Now, Knicks fans will tell you that, they did their job in one, which is, yeah, they did win at the end, and a win is a win. But, and there's no moral victories from winning, but from losing. But I think the Heat can kind of feel good about the fact that a lot of things did go the Knicks' way. And if the Heat just clean a little bit up and get their superstar back in Jimmy, which he's probably going to play tomorrow, then they have a really, really good chance in winning the series, going forward. Now, here are the list of things that all went the Knicks' way in Game 2. So number 1, they shot 13 more free throws than the Heat. Now, obviously, there was a big discourse about the officiating. I'm not one to talk about the refs too much. Like, y'all know me. If you guys have watched my videos, like, since the time I've been making videos on this channel, like, I don't really go off at the refs too much. I kind of just, if we lose, I kind of just go at our players, and yeah, that's about it. Like, I don't really like go off at the refs a lot, but that was honestly one of the worst officiated games I've ever seen. This is not just because I'm a Heat fan. Like, even like neutral fans are siding with the Heat fans in this one. Like, Scott Foster, there's a reason we've never won a game with him reffing us, and yeah, like, it was just very obvious. Like, I'm not saying they were like doing it on purpose. I'm just saying, like, there was a lot of things that just like were blatant calls that should have gone the Heat's way that did not. Now, I can make a whole list. Like, there was one where Kyle Lowry got dragged to the ground by Julius Randle, but it was a foul on Lowry. There was one where Josh Hart pushed Hartenstein, but they called a foul on Bam. There was one where the closeout where Bam pushed Hartenstein, but they said that was after Brunson shot, but it was before. There was one where Hartenstein, hit the ball out of bounds, but they called it off of the Heat. And obviously the one where the ball hit the rim, when someone, I think Gabe shot it or something, and the ball grazed the rim, and Caleb was there to put it back, but they called it a 24-second violation. You can just go on and on. There were just a bunch of calls that went against the Heat that should not have, and I guess that's just part of basketball. Calls will go against you, but like, it like not that many. You know what I'm saying? Like, the reason I was just very appalled, because it seemed like everything was going against the Heat, and like, calls that were supposed to be going for the Heat were kind of going against the Heat, and that's why I just don't think the refereeing was good in Game 2. Now, thankfully, Scott Foster is not reffing Game 3, so we don't have to worry about that. But yeah, free throw discrepancy was huge. They shot 13 more free throws than us. Now, a lot of that is also due to the fact that they did attack the paint more. The Knicks, obviously are a very, very paint dominant team. They don't really like, they're not known for three-point shooting. They're known for, attacking in the paint. But they shot 40% from 3. And that is something that I don't know if that's going to happen again, because the Knicks, are just not a good three-point shooting team. Not, you can say the same thing about the Heat. As far as regular season, they hadn't been a good three-point shooting team, but like in the playoffs, like, they turned it up. But that's like consistent with the whole playoffs. Like the Heat have been a good 3-point shooting teams all playoffs. Now, obviously, it hasn't, like the Bucks series, they were kind of nuclear, and like we kind of expected those numbers to come down a little bit, but not like back to 27 or 34 where it was in the regular season. Now, ironically, the Heat did shoot 34% in game 2, which I don't think is going to happen again. I think we missed a lot of open threes. But yeah, the Knicks shot 40% from 3. We shot 34. They shot 13 more free throws than us. They out-rebounded the Heat by 14. Now, the rebounds, you got to give to the Knicks. They did put in a lot of effort on the glass. Hartenstein was really, really big for them. And he kind of kept them in the game with a lot of second chance points. So, yeah, they did out-rebound the Heat by 14. I'm not saying, like, any of these are, like, apart from the referee, you got to give the Knicks a lot of credit for all these other things. But I'm just saying, like, the likelihood of all these things happening again is very low, which is why I'm listing all these things, one by one. So, like, the Knicks shooting 40% from 3, I don't really know how likely that is. Out-rebounding the Heat, they out-rebounded us in game 1, too, but by 14, especially with all these other things happening as well, it's kind of wild. Then, Randall, Barrett, and Brunson all scored over 25, and Brunson had 30, and Randall almost had a triple-double. Josh Hart was 1 assist away from a triple-double. Jimmy Butler did not play, and we only lost by 6. So if you're a Heat fan, you kind of have to feel good about the series because your MVP, the guy who kind of carried you through the first round, did not play. He sat out. Now, obviously, you did have performances from guys like Gabe Vincent and Caleb Martin, which you don't know if you're going to get those again, which is fine. Gabe Vincent has been playing really good all playoffs, but Knicks fans will tell you that this is just a fluke game for him. Caleb, I can understand if people think that he's not going to score 22 again. He's probably not. But Caleb has been a stud all playoffs as well. But Jimmy did not play. So somebody had to step up naturally, and it was Caleb. They shot an uncharacteristic amount of free throws, more free throws than we did. The refs were atrocious. They shot 40% from 3 to our 34. They out-rebounded us by 14. All of their 3-star players scored 25 plus. Josh Hart, who's probably their 4th best player, almost had a triple-double, 1 assist away. And we only lost by 6. So, I'm pretty confident going into Game 3 that we can pull this one out because Game 3, when Jimmy plays, now obviously Spo might stick with the same strategy where he's just like, whatever, just let the others beat you. Now the thing about the Knicks that I'm gonna have to watch for is Jalen Brunson. In the first half in Game 2, Jalen Brunson was not that good, but in the second half, he kind of turned up. And although Randall was kind of, the hot hand for most of the game for them, when Brunson is going, that's when the Knicks are hard to stop. That's why I think you kind of just have to take the ball out of Brunson's hands as much as often and kind of make him a playmaker. When he is making his shots and when he is penetrating and getting into the paint, it is extremely, extremely hard to stop the Knicks because then they get rolling because Brunson is kind of the engine of the team. Although Randall had it going for most of the game, when Brunson got going in the second half, their offense became a lot less stagnant. The other thing I'm gonna want to look at is Jimmy Butler as a roller. Now, obviously, it's yet to be seen for sure if he's gonna play. I'm 95% sure he's gonna play tomorrow. We're gonna have to see how that ankle is. But yeah, I think Jimmy as a roller is going to be very, very key. In Game 1, he had a lot of open, slips to the basket off of pick and roll situations where he was the roller. I think the same thing is gonna be key in Game 3, him as a roller. I think Kevin Love on Mitchell Robinson is gonna be interesting as well because Kevin Love is going to have to keep Mitchell Robinson off the board. I like what Bam Adebayo did in the first half. I don't know why he stopped attacking the bigs in the second half. He got Mitchell Robinson into foul trouble early. He should have done the same with Hartenstein, but he did not. So Bam is going to have to step up. Now, obviously, Bam's aggression has been like a question over like however long now. Like, it's nothing new. I'm kind of at the point where I just don't think the expectations of Bam is like realistic at this point. Like, a lot of people want him to be something that he's just not. So I don't expect him to average 25 or like 27 or whatever. Like, obviously when Jimmy is out, it's a different story, which is why I did expect him to get at least 20 points. But he just has to put up a lot more field goal attempts. Like 10 field goal attempts is like terrible for someone who is playing without his, star player, and who kind of said coming into the season that he was looking to take 18 shots a game. 10 is like nothing. So you need Bam to be a lot more aggressive. We've had the same discourse for years and years now. I'm kind of getting tired of it at this point. Now, I will say a lot of the people saying trade him or whatnot kind of just don't understand basketball, because you guys don't understand what he brings to this team. Obviously, we would like him to be more aggressive offensively, because we know he has a skill set to cause a lot of problems. But even with him just kind of averaging 16, 17, 18 a game, he's still one of the most valuable players in the NBA because of how much he does defensively and how much of a hub he is on offense. And I don't really think people get that. Like, I saw someone on Twitter saying trade him for Gobert. Like, are you out of your mind, bro? Like, I get that a lot of people are frustrated with this play. Again, like, there was a poll on Twitter and someone was like, who has been the second best player on the Heat all playoffs? And people were voting Caleb Martin over Bam. Like, Caleb Martin's been good. And I think a lot of people voted Caleb and Gabe because they've kind of been performing above expectations and Bam hasn't. But Bam has still been the second best player on the Heat in this playoffs. Do not get it twisted. His defense has been absolutely immense this whole playoffs. And obviously his offense, he's not putting up 20 or whatever, but he's putting up 18, 17 a night, which is, again, I'm not saying that's good. Like, I'm not saying that's like amazing, because like in game 2 he should have done more offensively, which is why I'm criticizing him. But he still has been the second best player on this team all playoffs. So please do not let a lot of what casuals on Twitter will tell you, like, do not let that influence your opinion on this matter, because I just don't think a lot of people watch basketball. I think a lot of people kind of just like look at box scores and say, okay, yeah, Bam only took 10 shots. Yeah, he should have taken more, but that doesn't mean he's not the second best player on the Heat anymore, or like whatnot. Like, people just don't understand what he brings to this team. Like, he kind of just covers everything up defensively. Like, without Bam, I don't know if our defense would be top 20 without Bam. Like, it's kind of wild how much of a difference he makes to our defense. But yeah, that's enough about Bam. Yeah, man, I do think that Jimmy Butler's presence is going to be very, very important defensively as well. Off-ball defense is going to be very, very key. Helping off of guys, like making sure that he's getting those timely steals. Like, Jimmy is extremely, extremely adept at doing all that. So yeah, I mean, I do think that Jimmy's going to be key in that aspect as well. You're getting your all-star, all-NBA, MVP player back at home. Like, you should be feeling good about yourself. I'm feeling good, man. I think the Heat have a real good shot to go to the Eastern Conference Finals. Obviously, we cannot get ahead of ourselves, but yeah, I don't think we have a lot to worry about in this series as long as we do what we're supposed to. Now, obviously, like, the Knicks are the healthier team and whatnot, and they might have like the more talented roster on paper, but I just feel like we have like a 10 times better coach, and I'm taking Jimmy over any of their players combined. So, I mean, our star is coming back, so I think we're sitting comfortable right now. Cannot wait for tomorrow, man. I'll see y'all later as always. Peace.